Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I want to talk about Michael and Carly for a minute because, in some ways, I felt like this scene was a little out of pocket. I don't understand where this sudden urge to protect Sonny is coming from. As far as her telling Michael to hire Dex to work for Sonny. Because I'm sitting there thinking, well, so you're going to pay him money, and then he's also going to get money from Sonny. I mean, that sounds like a sweet gig for him, but I just don't understand what is this urgency. Maybe it's the simple fact that Carly feels like Sonny's slipping. You know, um, this is a new territory that he's doing dealings with. He's dealing with like stuff that can literally sit there and put him in federal prison. But my thing is at the same time, it's not like Sonny hasn't broken the laws and went to jail for years for some of the other stuff that he's doing. So I don't understand what makes this one so special. I don't get it. I mean, I still don't understand what Michael is not understanding about the fact that if Sonny goes to jail, the family's ass is grass. Literally, 2 years ago, Sonny was gone, and they almost all got taken out. So I don't really understand that. Meanwhile, you got Joss that is whining to Dex about, oh well, now the evidence is destroyed, and you just, you're stuck, and Michael and Carly, they practically screwed you over. And so she's like, you can just leave. You can just leave. There's nothing stopping you from telling Sonny that you went out. But Dex is like, I don't really have a lot of options. Long story short, listen, they've been setting Dex up to be the next Jason from day one. Okay. And yeah, he infiltrated and, kind of went about it in a different route. He wasn't chosen by Sonny. I mean, he was, but it wasn't like, Jason had some sort of agenda to like take Sonny down or anything. Um, but they've been setting him up to be the next Jason for a hot minute. So, Dex is like, well, I don't really have a lot of options. Plus, the pay is good and yada, yada, yada. And eventually, Josh just accepts it. She just accepts, this is going to be Dex's life. And I guess on some sort of level, she does really understand that not everyone has the options that she does. She gets to go to school, she gets to become something of herself. Dex just has a high school diploma. Don't get it twisted. It's not like, Dex can't sit there and try to get a GED or, well, not a GED, but like to try to actually make something of himself. Um, he does have options, and in some ways, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like that's kind of lazy to some extent. He could be a security guard. He could sit there and do other things while he goes to school and make something of himself. So it's not like Smith is saying that he can't do those things. So in a lot of ways, I kind of felt like that was a nice way of him Smith there saying, you know what, I like the money and I'm good at what I do. So this is what I'm gonna do. He stops to think about it. That's literally what he wanted to do. I actually had to sit there and work that out in my brain to be like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, um, so we got that going on, and we got Ned telling Nina, "Hey, listen, I know what you did. I know what you did. You're the one that actually called, the SEC on Carly. You did it out of revenge. And why should I sit there and take the fall for what you're doing?" At first, Nina tries to play dumb. I mean, like her version of actual dumb, not like just the fact that she's literally a dingbat. But she's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You didn't really hear anything." And she's all like, "Well, you can't really prove it to me. Like, you can't really prove it or anything like that. It's my word against yours or whatever, right?" And that is like, listen, I don't really have to. All I gotta sit there and do is sit there and say I didn't do it, and they'll look at you as well. And my dude literally skips. Okay, I saw a part of him actually did this whole happy skip thing to try to go find Drew because Tracy was being a POS to one of the waiters. And so she found out that the whole pool section, whatever, was closed because of her. Meanwhile, you got Drew that's not there trying to blackmail Tracy by saying, "Hey, listen, how do you think Ned would feel? I want Ned to sit there and get me out of this gym, and how do you think he would feel if he found out that you were practically pressuring his daughter into doing like espionage and property theft and all this other stuff like that, stuff that can literally get her jail time." So they're going back and forth. Tracy's just kind of just standing there, just kind of looking tough or whatever. Because I'm thinking like, would she actually cave? Would she literally sit there and get Ned to back off, or to try to get Ned to use his contacts to get the charges dropped against him? So this is where we get into a point of what I call very shitty writing, right? There was a lot of people in the chat last night that was like, maybe Ned could sit there and blackmail um Nina, keep the secret or whatever, give back, give Carly back owner of the hotel or whatever, find some sort of way to sit there and do a blackmail and just kind of keep his mouth shut. Because at the end of the day, um, I guess that really wouldn't work. So they had to try to find some sort of way to keep this story going a little bit longer with Nina, keeping her dirty little secret, right? And I felt like there was different ways they could have went about it. I felt like it was some sort of way they could have made it clever where Ned wouldn't say anything um, on the conditions of whatever. But you know what wound up happening? Ned is running towards the pool, and he trips on a towel, hits his head, and falls into the pool. So of course Drew just automatically sprang into action and saved him, got him out the water, and waited until the paramedics came in and started doing chest compressions or whatever. And so when the EMT people came in, Tracy was like, Tracy. Okay, I'm trying to stir it wrong. So eventually, now this is kind of, up until this point, this literally did not make any sense. I didn't give a damn about Chase buying a new truck, right? And I'm sitting there talking to Brooklyn. Oh, I want to go camping, this, that, and the third. And she's like, "I'm a city girl. What are you talking about? I want to do those things. I want to be outside and bugs, and natures, and bees, and all sorts of curly things or whatever." Olivia comes over, and Olivia is like thrilled about this truck. She's like, "Oh, what does it have? Does it have this? Does it have that?" And I'm just like, so far, there's been like 20, 30 minutes of filler and BS, right? But when the staff member comes in to sit there and tell Olivia somebody slipped on the pool, they all get there for some odd reason because this literally did not make any sense. Olivia could have just went there and that would have been fine. Brooklyn had no reason to sit there and be there just to watch her slip and fall. And I guess maybe Chase did because, I don't know, he's a cop. They all get down there. And eventually Chase is like, "Oh, Drew pushed my son. Like Drew pushed my son into the pool or whatever. You have to arrest him." And you see in the next scenes, Drew's like, "Wait, are you serious? You're actually going to arrest me?" Now, my whole thing is like, you don't even actually have any proof that Drew pushed Ned into the pool. And when the EMT people came there, they already saw him sitting there doing chest compressions. So it just would be so out of pocket if you just sit there and say, "Arrest him, he did this," and you literally have no proof whatsoever. I don't understand how it's going to work, but I feel like because it's a soap opera, they're going to sit there and try to make it stick, just like they did with this whole Cody BS with the whole necklace, which again made no sense. But this is what we call shitty writing. Now you got that going on, right? What else you got going on? Oh, all right. So this thing with Anna, I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't care. Sonny coming over there to sit there and try to make her feel better. Her being defensive. Eventually Valentine coming over to try to make her feel better, and she's being defensive. Now she's all like, "Oh, well, Emma's gonna sit there and look at me like this, that, and the third," and I'm just like, "But you did all those things." Yeah, I understand there might have been circumstances, the reason why you did them, but you still did all those things. This is why in the beginning, you had Dante come over, or well, you had Dante call up Valentine to sit there and try to clear her name. I was like, well, what are you clearing? Those things are true. You can't clear her name. It's not false evidence. This stuff literally happened. She literally did all this stuff. So this whole crying and everything like that, it just was like, I understand to some extent that, maybe her granddaughter would sit there and look at her a little bit differently, but I'm like, well, you did those things. The only thing you can do now is woman up, sit there and tell her, face the consequences of your actions, and move on. Like I don't care. It's the same way I don't feel bad for Carly and Drew, and if Michael would have been involved, them going to federal prison because they literally did the things that they did. This is something that I feel like I need some people to understand. Well, not that I feel like I need people to understand, because I think at this point we should all be on the same page about this, right? So you got this whole little war, little fan base or whatever of people, that's siding, their team Nina and their teams, their team Carly. And, people are sitting there siding with Nina, being like, well, Carly did all those things, so she should go to jail, right? And you don't feel bad for Carly going to jail. I don't feel bad for Carly going to jail because she did all those things. The thing with Nina that I feel like, people need to understand is that what she's doing is going to blow up in her face. And this short little BS retrieval that she got because Ned just happened to slip on the towel when he was going to sit there and spill the beans don't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, she's going to get found out. Just this is so stupid. This is so dumb. At the end of the day, you know, the reason why I'm so harsh on Nina when it comes towards this whole her telling on Carly is not so much that Carly doesn't deserve what she's getting, is that it's very counterproductive to what Nina wants. Nina wants a family. And, with Wiley and Amelia and Willow and everything, and Sunny, and she's not going to get that when it blows up in her face. That's the issue that I have with Nina of calling the SEC. Carly gets what she gets. That's on her. Even she acknowledged that she did what she did. But I felt like in some ways it was kind of important to sit there and talk about that, even though it had nothing to do directly with the review, except for the fact that Anna is getting what she deserves, and I just don't feel bad for her. It's like you did what you did. It is what it is. The crying, the sobbing, the drinking, and all that other stuff like that, that's on you. So these two scenes for me just felt completely pointless. Sam being in this episode felt completely pointless. She just came to Dante and he talked about Anna and how bad they feel for her and what it was like, what it would be like, because Dante done some stuff, and if that came to light, how would he react? And again, I just wouldn't feel bad for Dante because he did all those things and he literally decided to work for the WSB. So yeah. Then there's a scene with towards the end with Nina and Sonny. Didn't really go anywhere, but she just she's hugging Sonny and everything like that. She's realizing what she has to lose. Now, here's the thing. She might have got a very short retrieval from being exposed, but you gotta sit there and remember something. Marty's being pressured by the government to sit there and give up his source. And so there's only a matter of time before she does get exposed, and she will get exposed. I just felt like this whole slip and fall thing was just like, really, Really? Y'all couldn't really have done any better than that? All right. Well, I do, in some ways, I do feel like his slip and fall is more of a plot device towards Drew and Tracy, of not exposing her. Because now, she's forcing her granddaughter, into doing stuff that can literally sit there and get her thrown in jail. But Ned isn't dead. So eventually he's going to wake up and he's going, eventually when he gets his memories back and blah, 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 he's going to sit there and realize, what Tracy's done. And I guess at that point, Tracy will be there going away again or whatever. So everything's going to come to light at some point in time. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening. But as I always sit there and say, come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be sitting going over all the stuff that went on with G's today. Days of Our Lives, which annoyed the hell out of me. B&B, and why not? We'll be sitting there talking about them all. So definitely come through. Also, I should sit there and say, we so far are at 45 members. I want to sit there and try to get to 50 by the end of the month. And I know we can do it. We're so close. We literally have 5 more memberships to sit there and reach that goal. We have a lot of fun. I do exclusive videos for members only. I do character breakdowns. Ask anyone that actually has a Dragon Ball Z star on their next to their name, and they'll sit there and tell you how fun the membership is. So definitely join. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.